Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Daysi DIY. Today I'm gonna share with you guys an easy and beautiful Valentine's DIYs. I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Thank you so much, and let's start with the first project. For the first project, it's going to be really budget friendly. I'm going to be using a cardboard box that I had on hand, and it was really good quality that I decided to create this budget friendly DIY. So the first thing, I'm going to be using the Rust-Oleum paint on color white to paint it. I just did one coat and I just let it dry really well. I'm going to be creating two side projects. So on the back of the card box, I'm not going to paint it. I'm just going to put a free printable on the back, but I will show you in a minute that one. So I found this beautiful free printable and I just cut it to the size that I need, and I just gonna use a little bit of the Mod Podge on the back of that image, and I just put a little bit on the top of the little box, and I just gonna place my words, and it says love. And I'm pretty sure you guys can find any free printable on Google. You just search for hearts or love letters, whatever you're looking for. I'm pretty sure you guys can find it. And like I always mention, if you guys don't find out any free printable that you guys love, you guys can send me an email and I will send it by email any free printable that you guys want to. Once I was done, I decided to do a cut on my patch on the top so it can seal the image really well. And once I'm done, I just put it to a side and let it dry really well, the Mod Podge. The next thing that I decide to do to distress it a little bit, and for that I just use a little bit of the Waverly anti-wax, and I love to use this piece of bad sponge because like it used a little bit of the paint at the same time. It distress it really beautiful, and this is how it looks. Our first project, it turned out really beautiful. If you guys see, if it looks like it's a piece of wood when it's not, and let me show you for the second side of the same card box on the second project what we're gonna do. I found this other free printable on Google. It's really beautiful. So I decided to first like mark on the edges of the little box so I can cut it to the side that I need it. And once I was okay with it, I kind of decided to fold it again the paper. So it was kind of easy for me to use my scissors to cut it the image. And once I cut it, you guys can see that my image, it was a little bit smaller, but it was really simple fix. I just grabbed an extra pieces of the same image and I just cut it a smaller one so I can put it on the side, and it was just the perfect pieces that I need. I went ahead and put another cotton Mod Podge on the back. Just first put the small pieces so I can place the big piece on the top, so it kind of like give this effect that we had just one image. Hopefully it makes sense. And actually at the same time it kind of like cover this little part. First I was thinking like to cover with a little bit of the spackling. I didn't need to do it because once I placed the piece of paper it covered really well. And I did another coat on Mod Podge on the back of the image, and I did on the top another coat of Mod Podge, and I'm just gonna place my image. I know there's these wonderful friends that they gave me a wonderful technique to use, but this project I created last year and I didn't have the time to edit the video anything. So this year 2025 I decided to do my best because there's a lot of projects I have already created but I haven't had time to edit. So this time I did this new project for you guys. I hope you guys love it. I really love so much these two side project. It turned out really beautiful. But please let me know in the comments down below. Do you guys have a favorite for this one? For the next DIY, I'm gonna be reusing this picture frame. It's made of a piece of canvas and with a few pieces of the popsicle sticks. And I will link it down that video for you guys if you want to recreate it. But I had it on hand and I just decided to do something else. So the first thing, I just marked with a pencil a heart. It was not a perfect heart. Then I grab a piece of this nautical rope and I just kind of like to glue the two pieces together to give the shape of the heart, and I went and glued the bottom part, and once I was done I glued the side. I hope it makes sense how I glue it, but I'm pretty sure you guys can glue it a different way, or if you guys are really good like with the shapes and everything, I think you guys gonna be really good. But I kind of struggle and I want to give that really hard shape with them. So the next thing, I'm gonna grab two pieces of the jingle blocks and I'm gonna place them on the back because I want this beautiful picture frame to stand up. And you guys can see I didn't paint it on the back, but I ended up painting it with the same Waverly anti-wax. The next thing that I grab a piece of these wood hearts and I'm gonna cover the holes with a little bit of the spackling. And to paint it, I'm gonna be using this beautiful paint on color moss that I got at Home Depot. So I'm gonna put a little bit of the hot glue to glue my heart, and it holds really well just with the hot glue, and I'm just gonna place it on the top. And once I place them, I kind of like center a little bit. That last thing that I decide to do, I didn't show you, but I will show you in a minute how I create this raffia bow. It was super simple to create it. I placed them on the bottom because it was missing something else, and I grabbed just a small piece of the jute twine and create a simple bow, and that's the only thing that I did for this project. It turned out really cute. I love it, and you guys can paint the heart of the color of your preference. On camera it kind of looks different, but in person it looks really different, the color. Let me know in the comments down below what do you guys think about this other project. For the next project, I'm gonna be using this kind of picture frame. I'm not sure, like, but I had like on the top like this beautiful like hanger, and I decided to remove the image and also the hanger, and I struggle a little bit to remove the image. You guys can see I didn't do a really good job. It was really hard to remove it, but I always mentioned, you guys can just use on the back of the picture frame to create this project. The next thing, I'm gonna be using another beautiful free printable that I found on Google, and I really love it so much, this heart. So I'm gonna be tracing it, the picture frame, with my pencil, and I'm gonna be cutting it with my scissors. I decide to use a little bit of the Mod Podge on the back of the image, and I'm going to do another cut on Mod Podge on the top, and I'm just going to place it, and with my hands I go over and I smooth any wrinkles or any bubbles, and pretty soon I will give it a try to this wonderful technique that few of my friends, they already told me what to do, so my project, they don't have that many wrinkles. Thank you very much for all the time that my friends, they leave wonderful comments above to use this technique. technique. And you guys can see I decided to do another cut on Mod Podge on the top, and obviously I put too much Mod Podge. It was a lot, I don't know, like, and I kind of like just let it dry really well, and it was just perfect. The next thing that I did, I grabbed a piece of sandpaper and I went over, especially on the edges, so I can remove the extra piece of paper and kind of like smooth the edges also too. And it was just perfect once I was done. And also, I decided to use a little bit of the anti-wax just to distress it on the edges and kind of like on the image too, so it kind of like blended all together so it can give this touch of the farmhouse look that I really love so much. And once I was done, I just placed the little hook that it had on the top, and I just put the two screws, and that's the only thing that I did. And here's the part where I told you that I was going to show you how I create this raffia bow. I grab a few pieces of the raffia and I just wrap it around my fingers, and I just put it together, and I grab an extra piece of the same raffia and I just tie it together, and I just kind of go over and give the shape of the little bow. It's simple and really beautiful once we create these bows. I just love it so much. It gives so much detail to our project. And here you guys can place this bow in the middle or in the top. I was kind of hard to decide where to put it, so I decided to put it on the top. And also I decided to use the same paint on color moss that I got at Home Depot, kind of like painted on the edges. I just use a little bit of that paint, not that much, because I want to bring you something different, not the same thing. So once I was done, I just put it to a side and let it dry for a little bit, and with a piece of sandpaper I kind of went over and distressed it a little bit. Also, I just used a little bit of this jute twine and create another simple bow and place it on the top. And the last thing, I just grabbed this beautiful brown button and I just place it. It was a touch that I need. It turned out really beautiful, and it's something that you guys can have it for a little bit more longer than just Valentine's Day. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about this other and easy project? For the next DIY, I'm going to be using this wood hanging decor that I got from Dollar Tree. It's just an arrow, and I'm pretty sure you guys seen it and you Dollar Tree so many times. You can find it at the craft square section. So the first thing, I remove the hanger and the piece of jute twine, and I decide to cover those holes with a little bit of the spackling. But if you guys don't have the spackling from Dollar Tree, you guys can use just a little bit of the hot glue and it work amazing. Sometimes I use it, you know. So I found this other beautiful free printable, and I love it so much. The heart, they have so much detail. So I just place my image and I place my arrow on the top, and I just trace it with my pencil, and I just cut it with the scissors. And once I cut it, I always love to take my time, so I cut just the parts that I need. And once I was done cutting my beautiful image, I just put a little bit of the Mod Podge on the back. This time I didn't paint the arrow piece because it was not need to paint it, but on the back I do paint it because I'm gonna show you in the minute how it turns out the project. And I just did another cut on Mod Podge on the top, and I just placed my image, and I just kind of smooth any wrinkles or bubbles, but there were no wrinkles in this piece of project. It was super easy to place that image, and you guys can see it was kind of a little bit bigger, the image. I always do, I just let it dry, and I just grab a piece of sandpaper and I kind of sand the edges, and it has a really clean cat. And I did another coat on Mud Podge, and I also put a lot of Mud Podge on this image too, but nothing happens, like if you put a lot of Mud Podge. I'm gonna grab two pieces of these popsicle sticks, and I was just looking for the plain ones that I have, but I couldn't find it, so that's why I grabbed these jello ones. So I'm gonna reuse a piece of this piece of paper that we create on the first project, and I really love all the detail that it had. So I'm gonna put my popsicle sticks and I'm gonna trace them, and I'm gonna cut it to the side that I need it. And once I cut it, I'm gonna do another cut on Mod Podge, and I'm just using a little bit of the Mod Podge. If you guys want to, you guys can paint the two pieces of the popsicle sticks if you wanted to, but I really love all the details that it had. This free printable, it's kind of like really wood. I don't know, I really love all the details that it had, so that's the reason why I decided to cover it. And also, once I place the piece of paper on the edges, like bend it a little bit so it can cover the yellow part on the side. I hope it makes sense. And I just did another coat on the top to seal really well the image, and I just put it to a side and let it dry really well. The next thing, once they were completely dry, I'm gonna put them on the top. And one of the piece, I just cut a small piece so they can be a little bit like straight. So to glue the pieces, I just use a little bit of the hot glue, but I'm thinking right now, I think it's way better to use wood glue for permanent hold, but I don't know why I didn't use it. And once I place my two pieces, I'm going to be using this Waverly anti-wax to paint two pieces of the Jenga blocks, because I'm gonna place them two on the front and two on the back so it can stand up this beautiful wood house that we create. And once I was done painting it, I'm just gonna put it to a side and let it dry. Also, I decided with the same paint to go over on the edges so everything can blend together, because I didn't like it how it looks. Like once I was painting the two pieces of the jingle blocks and I placed it, I'm like, no, it does not go really well. So it needs a little bit of the paint. And here is the part also too when I decide to paint on the back so everything can blend. And obviously that's not Daisy if she does not like finish a really good project from the back. So I just let it dry really well. And once I let it dry, I'm just gonna also with the same piece of the bad sponge, it still have a little bit of the paint, and I'm just gonna go over in a few parts to distress it a little bit. I decide to remove and distress, I don't know what you guys want to call it, with a piece of sandpaper a little bit on the side of the jingle blocks. It turned out really beautiful once I did this step. And here's the part where I'm gonna be gluing the pieces together. And here I did use wood glue. It surprised me so much. So I just used a little bit of the wood glue with a little bit of the hot glue so it can hold it on place, so it can has at the same time permanent hold. And I'm gonna place the two pieces, and here you guys can see it really clear how I did it, like how I put that two pieces on the front and the other two pieces on the back. Once you place it, it holds really amazing. I love it so much, and it stands up really easy, the house. I love it. And also on the other side, how it looks really clean and everything, I decided to create another project. It turned out really cute, and I have a few options for you guys. I hope you guys like it, and let me know in the comments down below which one do you like most, like the first, second, and third. And here's the second option. I just grabbed this beautiful wood heart and I going to use a little bit of the hot glue to glue it. If you guys want a permanent hole, you guys can use wood glue. And I'm going to place it on the middle. I'm going to be using this Farmhouse ribbon and I grab a piece and I just create a simple bow and I'm going to place them on the top, especially like where it had that little hole, the heart. And this project was so simple and beautiful. I love it how I create this one. But I have a third option. If you guys want to, you guys can grab these stickers that you guys can find it at your Dollar Tree. I grabbed just a piece where it says love and I place it on the bottom. You guys can use a little bit of the Mud Patch to cover it really well so it can has a permanent hold. I think the third option is way better, but please let me know in the comments down below which one it was your favorite, the first one, second one, or third one. For the last project, we're going to be using these welcome hearts that I found at my Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to be using two pieces. But if you guys don't have these exactly hearts, you guys can just create it this beautiful project using a piece of cardboard. And the paint that we're using, this beautiful paint on color moss that I got at Home Depot. So I just did one coat and I just put it to a side and let it dry. Also, I grab a piece of this wooden doll and I painted with the same color of paint. And once they were completely dry, I'm going to be using a little bit of this Waverly anti-wax to distress it a little bit, the hearts, and I just went over especially on the edges of the heart. And once I distress it, I just want to show you the difference, all the details that it gives to the heart once you distress it. So the next thing, I'm just gonna place the two hearts together and I'm just using a little bit of the hot glue. If you guys want a permanent hold, I think it's way better to use wood glue. And I just place first my heart and the other one, I just place it on the top. You guys can see how I place them together. I'm gonna be reusing these little bags that I had on hand. I will link it down below so you guys can see it step by step what I did. The next thing, I just grab a piece of this floral foam and I'm just gonna place it inside and I'm gonna use these cutting cards that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm gonna grab two pieces and I'm gonna place it on the top using a little bit of the hot glue to glue it. Also, if you guys want to, you guys can just use wood glue or E6000 for permanent hold. I think it's way better. And once we place the hearts together and once I place them in the floral foam, I'm just gonna use a little bit of the hot glue to glue it so it won't move. And also I'm gonna be using this floral moss that I got from Dollar Tree and I'm just gonna place it inside. If you guys want to, you guys can just use a little bit of the hot glue so it can kind of like hold the moss and doesn't come out of the little box if you want to. I create this simple bow and I just grab a piece of this small wooden doll and I just glue it. But if you guys want to, you guys can place it in the middle or you guys can just place it inside. I think both options it looks really cute. But let me know in the comments down below with all the projects that I create today, which one it was your favorite. So that was it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified every time that I upload new video. And please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Thank you so much and have an amazing day.